right, guys, so we're back with a video. Summer is almost over and we can actually start working on the car without, catching on fire. So I have this little project I'm working on right now, and I thought that maybe it would help some people out there that, I know that other people are probably struggling with the same thing that I am. And this is a solution I'm coming up with to try to fix it. So as many of you know, we use ECU master software on this 2JZ Fox body drag car. And ECU master software is not particularly known for being like drag race friendly. It doesn't have a lot of features, like Fuel Tech or Holley does as far as drag racing goes. But recently, they released a beta version that has CO2 boost control. It has bump control. It just has a few more features in it that actually are better for drag racing. So we got the software. I've got the car tuned up pretty good on that software. And I wanted to go ahead and make this video to show you guys how to set up the CO2 boost control, in ECU Master. But first I had to come up with, so I did like everybody else, I went with the, used 2 Mac valves. One of them increases, one decreases, and that's how you control it. Okay, I did the same thing as everybody else. And I just found that I have several Mac valves, and no matter which ones I used, they all leaked, right? You would try to put pressure on the dome and you could hear it leaking. And it was actually leaking out the top of the Mac valves. So I took a few of them apart to see if there was like any, seals that need to be replaced, but they're all different. Like it seems like there's no standard in Mac valves. The Chinese ones are all different. The genuine ones, you don't even know. Like you could buy a genuine one, but maybe it's not. Maybe you paid full price for one that is still a copy. So I said, you know what, I'm not messing with this anymore. And I did see on, I think it's Pro Speed or Pro Wire USA, they sell a block that has injectors in it. That, you use injectors in order to as Mac valves that, open and close in order to increase and decrease, okay? So, in typical DIY fashion, that I do everything here on this car by myself. Everything I've done on this car, I've come up by myself. So I decided that I'm gonna try to make a block and then just get some, inexpensive injectors to do the same thing. So here's what I come up with. I'll give you a little backstory first. I purchased maybe like a year and a half ago, these low dollar motorsports manifold blocks that basically, you could run sensors to it. You can put your manifold pressure here, run your map sensor. You could run your fuel pressure sensor, just whatever. You could run sensors on this. So I bought 2 of them just thinking, I could definitely use that to clean up my wiring and whatnot. But when I got them, I was like, this thing weighs like 5 pounds. Like I am not putting this in my car, because you guys know me, like I cannot stand putting weight in the car. I don't I'm looking to take stuff out of the car. So I didn't use them, and they've just been sitting on the shelf and with no idea what I could do with them until now. So what I did was like I said, I had 2 of them. So I took the other one and I cut it up. Basically just chopped up, I chopped it here, took the center section out. And then I bored 2 of the holes for, the 14 millimeter injectors. So obviously they line up. So when I flip it around, these 2 line up with these 2. So I bored all these out for injectors and basically built this little bracket that holds it together. Slid my injectors in. These are 210 pound injectors. So basically like 2000 cc injectors. And kind of use this little bracket here to hold it together, basically. And it's like real solid. It did take some of the weight off because I machined it, cut the center section out. So it did make it a little bit lighter. So I'll kind of explain how this works. Basically, you have you have one injector that is your increase. and then 1 is your decrease. You want the pressure on the back of the injector. Okay, that's how these injectors are designed. They hold pressure better from the back. Okay, so anyway, you put your CO2 in here. This chamber here is connected, and then that comes out this port here. So this would go to your gate, the top of your gate, and then obviously this one here would be your vent. So this would increase the pressure, this would decrease the pressure, and then it comes out this little vent here. I just add this little filter just so that, you know, dirt wouldn't get in there and plug up the injector. So yeah, like I said, I've been working on this for a while, for a few weeks actually, and I got the other stuff done already. You know, you have to drill and tap your gate for a pressure sensor. So I have that there, and I remote mounted that to a little aluminum bracket right here. And this is just like a 0 to 100 PSI sensor. So, you know, when you put the pressure on here, it sends a signal to the ECU and basically regulates it. So it all works. I mean, I have already tested this, like I said, with the MAC valves. It was just, it would have to continuously cycle in order to hold the pressure because it was just leaking everywhere. So we got this all set up. I'm gonna wire it up. We're gonna throw it in the car, and I'll show you guys how it works in the ECU Master software. I'll kind of go over, you know, the different settings you'll need, and then we'll test it. We'll see how fast it can fill the gate, the top of the gate. All right, guys, so we got the block all set up. I have it wired and plumbed, going to the gate and to the CO2 bottle. Now, I don't have a lot of pressure in the CO2 bottle right now. It only builds so much, but for this test purposes, this is just so we can see how quick it fills and also if it holds the pressure. So this is our log right here. This is the dome pressure right there. And if we go to our test output feature, okay, I know that this one, aux 6 is the decrease and aux 3 is the increase. So we're just gonna test it to see how fast it can build pressure. So let me try to move, doing this with one hand's kind of tough, but okay, there we can see it. So it's pretty much sitting on 0 or 4. I don't know why it's got a little pressure on it, but maybe from the atmosphere, I don't know. But I'm gonna go ahead and see if we can fill it. Hit this test feature where I have like a frequency set in here and a number of cycles. So test. Okay, there you go. It went straight to 305, and then it's just sitting there. So 305 kPa, so 100 kPa is like 14.5 PSI. So 14.5 PSI times 3. So you guys can kind of do the math and figure out how much pressure's on the dome. It is kind of a function of what you have available to you too. So the point here is you see how fast it filled, okay? And remember, that was from 0. So technically when we launch, we're gonna be holding it at probably like 20 pounds of boost, and then from there it'll climb. So one of the things about ECU Master is that they do have, like, they added these features, but they don't really have like a time-based ramp for the boost. So that could be an issue. That's something we're gonna have to test. Maybe I can play with the frequency on as far as how fast the ramp comes in, because you don't want it to come in too fast. You know, you can easily blow the tires off. If you go from, you know, 20 PSI on the dome, and then you go straight into 50 PSI on the dome, it's, you know, I don't know how that's gonna work, but that's something like we gotta test. I know Holley and Fuel Tech, they have time-based curves. This doesn't. So I did talk to some of the guys at ECU Master on their forum, and they said they plan on adding that in like the final beta version, or the final version that they're releasing. This is just a beta version. But I mean, it obviously works really good, and it's still holding the pressure dead steady, no leaks. Like the MAC valve, when I did this test, it would just drain. Like it would have to continually cycle in order to keep up, in order to keep that pressure. This is not having to. This is just holding steady, no leaks. So let's go over to, let's see how quickly we can dump it. Okay, so here is aux 6. This is our decrease solenoid, is aux 6, and we'll hit that. So you could hear it dumping the air, and there it is right there, went right to 0. That's pretty fast, okay? So it builds pressure pretty fast, and it dumps it really fast. So, you know, with CO2, that's what you want. You want that control. You want to be able to get it in there and get it out of there. So yeah, I mean, everything works perfect. It's working exactly how it should. I wish I would have done a video on when I had the MAC valves on there, because it was a mess. You could hear it leaking. It was just like slow leaks out the top of the MAC valves, and yeah, it didn't work great. So, okay guys, so now that we know it works, I'm gonna kind of go over how it's set up in the software, okay? It's a little confusing, so you gotta kind of change your way of thinking when you are using CO2 boost control, okay? So let's go over it. I have a couple of the tiles open here, and I'm just gonna start, we're gonna start with boost, the parameters. So in parameters, let's see if we can, okay, here it is. You're gonna select CO2 dome pressure, okay? As soon as you do that, you're gonna be looking at things a little bit differently, okay? When you go to your boost target, let's say boost target number 1, which is right here, I have it open right here. This is no longer boost that is like your map boost. This is now CO2 dome pressure, okay? It switches it. So now you have to think in terms of what's on top of the dome instead of what the map sensor's reading. Okay, so if you put 20 PSI on the dome, you may get 15 pounds at the map sensor, you may get 25 pounds. This is something you have to test and kind of like take notes and see what it gives you, so that you know what you're gonna get when you put a certain amount of pressure on the dome, okay? So that's that. You get the you get the idea of that. So this here now is dome pressure, not your boost target, or it is your boost target, but it's the boost on the dome. Okay. So, and then you got to kind of match it up. I've already been playing with this. You got to kind of match it up with your duty cycle feedback. So this is going to be like the software is going to use this as like a base duty cycle to try to hit this target. Okay, I had to play with this a little bit to get it to, you know, match up, but I do have it pretty good to where this duty cycle and this target, they do kind of work together, okay? I'm not 100% sure how it works together, but it works together, okay? So, and then, so obviously that's your target of what it is with, you know, when you're not in launch control. Now, they added a launch control feature to where when you hold the button down, it gives you a separate area to control that. So you can launch on 15 pounds of boost, and then when you let the button go, it reverts back to this map here, your actual boost target. Okay, so this is where we can kind of play with the ramp. You know, we can't do it time-based, but we can do it as far as RPM. Okay. So if, you know, a certain, or throttle position sensor here too, but as far as the RPM goes, I could play with this a little bit. So I could kind of, instead of making this 100 down here, I could slowly add this into as far as RPM goes. So you can kind of do it RPM based. That's just something we have to play with when we get to the track. So, okay, now let's get out of the boost area here. We'll get out of this one. We'll go over to sport, launch control. And then in here, what you're going to do is, I already have the little tile open, but you're going to hit this one right here, boost target. Okay. So we click that pops up. So what you see there, I have it set to, it always, if you don't have a selector, you know, you can run a selector on this to where, you want, like, it has a selector 1 through 10. So you can, you know, if you want to leave at 10 pounds, that would be number one. Leave it at 20 pounds, that's number two, whatever. You guys know what I'm saying. But if you don't have a selector, it goes off the first one. Okay, so I have right now, I have 50 PSI or 50 kPa on the dome on launch. So that means basically when I hold the button down, it defaults to this setting right here in the launch control. Okay, and then as soon as I let go of the button, it goes back to the regular boost target number one, which again is dome pressure, not your map sensor. Okay, keep that in mind. That confuses people sometimes, and it can throw you off. So it's something you got to test. You gotta try. It's like trial and error. You want to see if how much, whatever dome pressure you put on the top, you got to see what it makes. And I already done that when I had the map sensor or the MAC valve in there. I've already done that. And this right here, 50 kPa on the dome was giving me around 170 kPa on the launch, which is a little less than what I normally leave at. I normally leave around 200 kPa. So we can play with that, so I can kind of creep up on that to see what happens. So, and then I have, once that button gets released, I have it going to 100 kPa on top of the dome. So that would double whatever's on the dome. So that could be, about 35 pounds of boost in theory. Like, this is just my theory. I won't know until we actually test this. So, I'm not sure what else to go over. That's the basics of this software. It is a little bit more confusing in my opinion than like what Holley or Fuel Tech is, but once you figure it out, it's pretty straightforward. Hopefully, like in the future, getting rid of all these tiles, hopefully in the future, we can, they'll put like a time-based deal in there to where, when you let go of the button, it's going to give you a ramp more, because right now, I mean, it goes straight up. It's pretty quick to fill the dome. So, anyway, this video is getting long. I apologize for that. But if you guys have any questions, throw it in the comments, and I'll do my best to answer it. I'm always reading the forums for updates on this stuff, because this is brand new. There's still some bugs in the version 3, which they're working out, and hopefully soon we'll have like a commercially released version that is bug free and it works good. So anyway, that's gonna do it for this video, guys. Hope you learned something, and I wanted to kind of show my struggle with the MAC valve deal, and this is how I'm fixing it. So anyway, that's gonna do it. I will check you guys later.